up, everyone? It's Rick here at utvsource.com. Do you guys remember the 100K Can-Am build, my personal car? Well, I cut it up and changed everything on that car. You guys want to check it out? Let's get into it. So, it's a 2018 Can-Am XRS. Basically, I got back from my Baja trip. The car's got probably about 2,000 miles on this car. And decided it was probably a good idea to change it up and to have parts on my personal car that we sell on the website. So, obviously, the cage is completely different. The suspension's different. Some of the interior pieces are different. We've added some new things. And with those new things, we've been able to make it where you guys can get this stuff too. It's all online at utvsource.com. So you may notice right off the bat, we're working with a brand new cage. This is a Fabworks cage. This is the Baja Aggressor. And I had it done in black. I opted for the valance, the windshield, the roof skin, the door kit, the window nets. And he changed it up, and we've got a different light bracket up here now, and this houses a Casey Highlights Pro 6 LED, and they've made some revisions on the lights. You can see in the housing and in the lens. It's the same light, every bit as rad as it was before. It just now it even looks better, so it's pretty cool. Anodized everything black. The removable window nets I thought was a really cool feature on one of the customers' cars we did, and I wanted that for myself too. So that was one of the options I hit. Something new on this cage is a pull handle versus just pulling on the window net. Now you can pull on the actual door. Very nice hardware. You can tell it shuts. You reach in, open it up. You can push on these doors and pull on these doors. And they don't sag. You can see I'm actually moving the car. And it still shuts. I couldn't do that with my last car. If I pulled on it, the door would drop. It was a lightweight door. This is a heavy-duty door. Something that's pretty cool about this cage that I thought would be really cool is to add a feature that I have in my Raptor, right? So I have a Raptor, a 2019 Raptor that's going to SEMA with another company, and one of the features in that truck was my headliner. So we did it in the Can-Am. You can tell it's a interior headliner wrapped in vinyl, marine grade vinyl, the same material at PRP seats. We actually matched it. And you turn it on and there you go. We'll probably shoot this again for you guys here tonight so you can see the headliner. It's all on remote control. It's fiber optic. Doesn't draw much power, so it's good to be left on. It's not going to drain your batteries. This is an option on a Rolls Royce, right? I can't afford a Rolls Royce. I can barely afford my Raptor. And this is like a $15,000 upgrade in a Rolls, which you can get at utvsource.com for next to nothing when you think about it. And it's pretty cool. The truck brought me a lot of happiness having that, and this is going to bring me a lot of happiness as well. So it can bring you guys some happiness now too. If you come inside, you'll notice we changed a few things up as well. I'm going to go around. We added a special edition rugged radios, communications center. This one's pink. This was for cancer awareness. So Rugged Radios has always been a great partner, and we've always had really good sales with, and it's on the website. Supports a lot of things in the industry for a lot of people. And this one, I was actually in Mexico on that trip, and one of our customers bought a pink one, and I traded him my white one. So that was rad that they were thinking about that, because I would have bought it, but I was gone. A couple other little features we added in here was, since we redid the headliner, we relocated the SPOD system over there, and I added and I still need to locate where I'm gonna put it, but a pedal commander into the side-by-side. So I have this in my Raptor, and I have it in all my other vehicles. Basically what this little device does right here is it takes the impulse from the throttle and speeds it up to the computer system. All these cars are drive-by-wire, and at the OEM, the easiest way to explain it is if you're in your car and you hit the gas, there's a long pause and it kind of kicks up and goes. You barely touch your gas pedal and it's already there. You know, it feels like you've added horsepower, but you haven't. So basically with the pedal commander system, I've taken away the massive delay that the OEM market or industry has put into the cars. And they do that because some people like barely hit the gas not meaning to, and they don't want the car to lunge forward. Well, now if you barely hit the gas, the car's gonna go. There's no hesitation. So that's pretty rad. I got it in all my cars. I love it. Everything else is pretty much the same. A few exceptions. I did color match the Rockford Fosgate speaker grill systems on the car. I left all the geyser shift knobs. And, you know, obviously I have my rear view camera system. I don't know. Is back in. My GPS is in. We added 2 speakers to the Rockford Fosgate system into the rear. So now I have a complete massive stereo system. The thing's like banging loud. We still have the PRP seats that are heated, and with a custom stitch in them. I did change out the harnesses. I went to a 5.3.2, meaning 5 points still, 3 inches in your waist, 2 inches in your neck. I'm a small guy. These are tight little cars. I don't need a big harness in here. We still have the Rugged Radios pumper system. And we really, other than that, didn't do too much on the inside. Again, the front windshield is removable now, where on the other car it really wasn't removable. So if I go to the dunes or I'm getting hot, I can push this window out with just a few screws, and there's no ugly tab sticking out of the car. So that's really cool, really cool. So something that's not on the car that we did add and I don't have on right now is a removable rack. And instead of coming into the car where I was having water collecting, it now bolts through. And it's been, I don't know, 100 times easier to get on and off. So we thought that one out. It's on and off. It's simple. One of the cool things on the Fabworks cage is a boxed C-pillar. The other cool thing on this cage is it's double shear on the shock. So the factory shock mounts into very, very, very thin sheet metal. The same sheet metal that I grabbed off a cage and ripped in half. So that's double shear, and that's standard on this cage, which is pretty cool. We did modify mine a little bit. I added a removable bar to mount my speakers, to mount my shocks that have been redone with the gold package from Shock Therapy. And it also allows me another hook spot for the spare. Originally I had it down here. So I tested the 409 bead grip wheels out in Baja. Absolutely fell in love with them. I didn't decide to go and get another bead lock wheel. I had these sandblasted and had them powder coated to match my suspension. And I went back to the same tires, Canati Terramasters, because I love them. We blacked out everything on the back half. Before this was all bare, I'll give you guys a sneak peek inside. This back half weighs about maybe 15 pounds, if that. It's not a structural component of the car other than the fact that it holds up a spare tire. That's it. But it also houses a few things. We'll get into that. Comes off really fast. You can see I have the Captain's Choice exhaust system from Evo. It's the Stage 3 kit in here. I did modify it. It comes out in side drafts out the side panel. But on top of that, we have a heat shield. I have a secondary battery system in this car. A lot of people asked, oh, those Can-Ams, they get, you'll drain those batteries. Well, I have an upgraded battery inside the car, an added battery back here. Everything's in series with a shut-off or a kill switch. So most of the electronics actually run off this battery. And I did that for a reason. We hired my buddy Eric at Hardwired Performance to Wire. He's a wiring guru. And the electronics go through here, so if I have a problem or I'm overdrawing the car, I can always start my car. So that was pretty cool, and then my communications are always on that battery as well. So another thing you'll notice back here, a lot of people are like, what's that nub sticking out the side? Well, this is a jack. This has been out for a long time. It's a King Shocks jack. It's basically a shock, and I run my gun on this, it collapses the shock, and I pull it out. It's very simple. There is room in here for storage, but again, this is made to just hold up the spare tire. It's probably 4 inches out further than standard cages that come in and tie into the rear radius rod plates. They're about right here. Some of them come out to here. Mine's just a little bit further out, but it's all bolt in. So it's captured on a geyser radius rod plate. We made these bungs, it's captured in, and it unbolts off the factory points up here. Nothing crazy, it's just done extremely clean. Couple things we changed up. Obviously, we changed the suspension out on this car. So I went with the high clearance ZRP machined radius rod kit for a couple reasons. One, they look amazing. Two, the price point. Three, they come completely adjusted. So I pull them out of the box and I bolt them in. It's that simple. You can't beat it. I mean, bang for the buck, those are the ones to get. I was putting them on all of our customers' cars, and I was like, this is too easy. And I hit the easy button too. And with that easy button came a good purchase at a good value, and you can't go wrong with that. And they actually work with every trailing arm out there. So that being said, the suspension's been changed out. We had the TT spec geyser kit on there, which was awesome, but again, it's at an extremely high price point. And this on the other side is at the lower side of the price point, and it's still TIG welded, and the craftsmanship on the arms are insane, so you can't go wrong there. So this is the HCR Elite kit. And if you look at the trailing arm, it's pocketed out, so it's a little bit lighter than their dual sport kit. It's every bit as strong. You can see all the internal gusseting and all the plate work that internalized or is internally going on. Everything's overlay plated. It's powder coated. It's actually a dual stage powder coat. It's alien silver with a lollipop raspberry translucent over it, and it got a trick powder coat job. It's all black lined in powder coat and then shot pink, which is pretty cool. So the guys at HCR, they work with some pretty good powder coaters, and they hooked it up, and this has exceeded my expectations. So what's really cool about the HCR kit is one of the reasons why it's at a good price point. You retain the factory hardware out of your factory arms. Everything pushes out of your existing kit and into this kit. So that means the accessibility of replacing those parts are as simple as going to your Can-Am dealer and buying new joints. I did, however, if we move to the front, change a few things. I should say I opted out for a few things. I went with the Keller ball joint system. So if you're not familiar with the Keller ball joint system, it's a rebuildable, adjustable ball joint. So when that ball joint starts to get slop and play in it, I can loosen the bolt, the capture bolt, or nut, sorry, and adjust the Allen head screw, and it sets down on top of the ball joint. And it takes the slop and the play out of that. So you can grease them, rebuild them, and I guess a lot of the racers have been using them. I've never used them, so I'm gonna try them out, see what all the fuss is about. Again, you can order those through us as well. And they come with the boots, unlike other companies. And what's really cool about that is some of those boots are on back order. I got this in a couple days, so that was pretty cool. So the front kit's the same thing, TIG welded, boxed, powder coated. This is the Elite kit. Pretty neat. I didn't change anything on the lighting or the geyser grill, but we did add the ZRP machined shock tower brace for a couple reasons. One, I wanted it to match and have a theme going on this car, which was machined parts and very, very, very nicely built parts on the car. Not over the top parts, right? This brace is affordable. Like everything from ZRP is pretty much affordable. And the fit and finish on it it's nuts, it's insane. You can see the beautiful tool paths in there. Everything bolted on this car extremely well. We didn't change the shocks at all because they're f***ing amazing. This is a shock therapy gold package. It's insane, and we're still running the limit strap kit because it serves a few purposes. One, it takes the clunk out. Two, I can limit my suspension and not wear my shocks out or wear my axles and CVs out. So another thing you guys may not notice on this car that I thought was pretty cool, and it's out, but it's not out yet, is the bolt kit on this car. So there are no factory bolts on this car anymore in the A-arms, in the bulkhead, in the radius rod, or the trailing arms, or shock mount. Everything now has been swapped over and that kit's available. It'll be on the site soon. What it does is it takes all the factory hardware and it's shanked properly. So, meaning the shoulder on the bolt is the correct length instead of writing on threads. So when I was tearing my car apart, I found I think about 4 or 5 bad bolts are about to break in half, especially down here. This pinch bolt on the lower arm off the hub wasn't shanked properly and it was about to break in half. Well, if you lose that, you lose your lower arm. Another bolt that was about to break off was the upper rear A-arm bolt and the lower rear A-arm bolt. It rode on the threads because it didn't have a properly shanked bolt on it. So this kit eliminates that. It's a great value, considering when I took apart my car, how bad it really was. And until you take apart your car and look for yourselves, you'll find out. And when you find out, hit us up at utvsource.com and we got you handled. Easy. We kept the shock therapy front sway bar kit. We did make a revision to it. It's a different sway bar, a little shorter, and new rod ends on it. So hopefully that helps out with a few things as well. I mean, other than that, we added a rear wing with the cage. We've got the whips up there. Things pretty much done. Almost done. I'm gonna add a few more things to it as we continue this build. We're gonna be changing out the wheels here soon. We're gonna test out a set of those Packard Performance ultralight wheels. So once I get those on, it's on, and I think the first trip in this car is gonna be probably Camp Razor. So I've got a few things to go back over on the car, and it should be ready enough to go playing. And if a few of you guys are probably asking, what are these yellow dots all over the car? Well, guys, that's a paint marker, and I do that after I lock down a bolt and a nut. I dab it with that paint, and visually when I'm done with the run, I can check over my car, and if that paint daub or that paint drip is broken, the bolt and the nut are loose. So it's an easy early warning detection without having to put a wrench on stuff to tighten it down. I know it hasn't moved. When it breaks, it's moved. Fix it. A lot of the racers do that stuff, and this is how I prep my cars. It's been like that for a long time, and now I do this on all the utvsource cars. Alright guys, so that's it on the rebuild of the Can-Am. If you like what you're seeing, comment below. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. If you're not following us on Instagram, at utvsource, you should. And make sure you follow the stories. That's where all the bangers happen, the sneak peeks, and the deals that we give out to you. And a lot of really good educational videos start there and find their way onto the YouTube channel, guys. So, this is my car. It's got a couple thousand miles on it. Everything else is brand new on it, and it's gonna look like shit in a couple weeks because I'm gonna go beat on it again. So, hope you guys continue to follow. And remember, for all your shopping needs, utvsource.com. If you have any questions or you want to get UTV sourced, feel free to shoot me an email, rick@utvsource.com or matt@utvsource.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. It's instant. So if you have questions, just ask. We're there for you guys. So hope you guys enjoy. We'll talk to you later.